Good morning, Kidz Church. So excited to be here with you on this Sunday morning. School's starting back up for some of you. Some of you are going to be home online. Some of you might be going to school. And I remember one of the coolest things I remember when I was in elementary school was I packed my lunch a lot. And when I went to school, I got to trade other people for stuff. So I remember I used to bring cookies and get Twinkies and all that cool stuff. And I remember I loved doing that. So I didn't know, I didn't know if that's still a thing. If y'all still like to trade lunches at school just to get different types of variety of food from other people. But today I want to tell you about a boy with a lunchbox, and in his case, it was most likely a basket and not a bag or a box that we're used to. And the lunch he took was really not much worth to trade. He had 5 small loaves of bread and 2 pieces of fish. How many of you would be willing to give up your Twinkies for a piece of fish? Not really. You probably wouldn't do that. The boy wasn't going to school that day, but he was going off to hear Jesus speak. And he was in a large number of people when he went to hear Jesus that day. The Bible says that there were 5,000 men. And that's just counting the men. It's not counting the women and children. So if we were to guess putting the women and the children there, it could have been close to 10 to 20,000 people that were gathered that day to listen to Jesus speak. It was starting to get late. People were getting hungry, and Jesus was still speaking, and it was getting around supper time. And not a lot of people thought about bringing food. Only this little boy with his basket was the one that brought food that day. And at the front of the crowd, Jesus' disciples were telling him to send the people away so they could go get some dinner. How many times are you in church service and then, the pastor's going a little bit long and, you want some Bojangles or Subway and your tummy's starting to rumble, you're wishing the speaker would hurry up, and the disciples, they were getting hungry, they were thinking of their stomach, they weren't really thinking about what Jesus was having to say. But then Jesus, as often he did, put a challenge to the disciples. He goes, you give them something to eat. The disciples were beside themselves because they didn't have anything to give. It would cost a fortune to feed that many people. Now, we don't know how it happened, but somehow this little boy found out that Jesus was looking to feed the crowd. And one of the disciples brought him to Jesus, and the little boy offered the little food that he had, 5 loaves of bread and 2 pieces of fish. Jesus took the food and blessed it, and then he began to break up the food and distribute it among the people with disciples. Suddenly, one little boy's lunch fed more than 20,000 people with 12 baskets of food left over on the side. It would have been very easy for the little boy to keep his lunch to himself. He is the one person out of a crowd of 20,000 people that brought food, and he only brought 5 loaves of bread and 2 pieces of fish, and Jesus used that to feed a large crowd. But the little boy, he didn't keep that to himself. He gave all he had to Jesus, and he placed it in Jesus' hands, and look what Jesus did. No gift is too small when we give it to the Lord. And no offering is too small to make a difference. Remember that, and look at the opportunities to give to God, and you'll be amazed at what He can do. Sometimes we think our talents, our gift, what we have to offer is insignificant, but God can take whatever small amount we have and do something extraordinary with it. So never think that you don't have enough to give to God, because God could take whatever we have and do amazing things with it. Guys, I hope you have a great week. God bless, and I can't wait to see y'all again.